You're listening to the Magnetic Boss Podcast. I'm your host, Calandra Martin, intuitive brand designer for spiritual entrepreneurs. The Magnetic Boss Podcast is where visionaries come together to openly share wisdom and authentic conversations. I know that you are ready to leave your legacy in the world and become sought out in your industry. I also know that you are sick and tired of getting overlooked. You're ready to have a magnetic business. I'm here to help you create your magnetic brand. It's my mission to help you show up confidently with a professional, irresistible online presence. If you're in this for the long game and all in on the big vision you have for your business, let's dive in. Okay, I'm coming to you with a raw and honest episode. I'm going to be so transparent in this episode on what is happening in my business, in my life, in this stage of evolution. And I always speak to this in my business and the way that I support my clients and sharing that evolution is inevitable. Because the way that I have supported women over the years has been through branding and done for you services like social media management and design. And I am always meeting women in this stage of evolution, of outgrowing the person that you once were and outgrowing the way that you had been perceived in your business. And I have had these moments in the past in my business. This is not my first rodeo, but I will say this one's a doozy. This one is a doozy. It is bringing up a lot of identity work. It is bringing up a lot of my internal fears, a lot of my insecurities. And to be quite honest, there have been moments, many moments in the last couple of weeks where I have wanted to run and hide and climb in a hole with a blanket over my head. And if you have been in this place in your business, or maybe you're there right now, I just want to remind you what I've been reminding myself, and that is that the season of growth and the season of evolution, it's temporary and it's really fucking hard. If we're being so honest, like it is not easy to have an identity shift. It is not easy to be challenging the beliefs that you have about yourself. It is not easy to take what has worked for a really long time and say, well, I'm not going to do that anymore. Like, there have been days in the last couple of weeks where I have asked myself, like, what the fuck are you doing? What did you do? And I think that it is really important for us to normalize that. I think it's really important for us, especially as women, to normalize these seasons of messiness, these seasons of imperfection. And even though I have always felt it to be important to show up in my business and build authority from a place of, here's what I've created, here's the success, I'm finding it equally as important now to be sharing with you what isn't working, what is really hard, what failures have happened. Because as I've said in the past, if you've been around for any amount of time, as women, and especially as a collective, creating something new, right? We're creating this new world. There have been so many shifts lately, and we are in this new era. It is so important for us to create this ripple effect and to show up from a place of leadership and ownership of what we are doing within ourselves to make the world a better place for ourselves, for our families, but also to create a legacy and to create an impact. So that is all to preface this update that I am going through such a shift in my business. In the last 10 years, I have grown this business as a done for you service provider. And I have worn that hat really fucking well. I love the work that I do. That work isn't going anywhere, but there's more, right? Like there is nuance to the work that I do. There are layers to the work that I do. And the way that I work with women in their businesses is not an agency model. It is not a cookie cutter approach. And I have found time and time again that the women that I'm working with, they fit a particular description. And I have always been a fan of niching down with flexibility, right? Like niching down, knowing that you can still pivot and that you can do more than one thing. I'm a multi-passionate, I'm a manifesting generator. I am very aware that the way that I show up in the world is through trial and error and through having the ability to flow with where my energy wants to go. And at the same time, I'm recognizing, and I've had this aha before in the past when I really labeled myself as working with spiritual entrepreneurs, I'm recognizing that there is a bit of a shift and a bit of an evolution because yes, I love working with spiritual entrepreneurs, but that almost feels too broad. And the work that I've been doing with my coach and in my own business is recognizing that 9 times out of 10, the women that I am working with are Gen X. The women that I'm working with are 50 plus. They don't love the tech. They don't love following the social media trends. They don't love being told what to do. And they want to create businesses on their own terms. And they want to create these legacies and have this impact without having to follow what every guru is telling them in the online space. And they really want to lead in their business from a really aligned and authentic way. So what I have recognized is that there are 2 layers to my growth right now. There is this new layer of refining my ideal client and really shifting some of my messaging and shifting some of the language that I'm using in my marketing to more intentionally speak to women that are Gen X, women that are 50 plus. And that feels pretty scary, to be totally honest, because I don't want to exclude women that are under 50. I don't want to exclude women that have been following me and hiring me for the last decade. But at the same time, I'm recognizing the patterns and the type of women that need my support the most and leading with that while still keeping the doors open to the women that will hire me, even though I'm speaking to Gen X, right? So there's that layer, that nuance that's shifting. And there is this new identity around not just being a service provider, but also really stepping into being a coach. And for so many years, I always said, like, oh no, I'm just a coach. I'm just a designer. I'm not a coach. Like, I'm just a designer. I'm just a designer. And that was the language that really created a safety net. It really allowed me to hide behind my work. Now, don't get me wrong, I have always led with a personal brand in building my business. That is how I have grown my business to 10K months and how I have created a business that allows me to work less than 15 hours a week and homeschool my kids. Personal branding at the end of the day is something that I will forever stand behind. But I'm recognizing now that being a service provider, being just a designer, was so fucking limiting. Like, honestly, I've done myself such a disservice in the last 10 years because just a designer is barely scratching the surface on the work that I do. It is barely scratching the surface on the support that I'm providing my clients. Even though the deliverables in our contracts are like, yes, social media graphics, yes, updated website, but we're going so much deeper than that. And I'm craving going so much deeper with my clients and really being their right hand support and really understanding the ins and outs of their business and the way that they show up in the world and supporting them through that. Because, like I have said forever, your brand is energy and strategy. And for so long, I've just led with the strategy. And I think that that's so important, right? Like you have to have strategy in your business. Otherwise, you have a hobby. But you really truly need the energetics. You really truly need to understand the foundation that you're standing on in order to be creating your brand and sharing your brand confidently. So this has been a bit of a mindfuck of shifting my messaging, shifting the way that I am positioning things, changing my offers, redoing everything on the back end as far as client onboarding and systems and processes, and updating my lead magnets. And like anytime you have an evolution, it's not just a simple, this is what I do now. It is like a full overhaul. And I just want to share that in full transparency because there's layers to this. There's the like technical component of, well, now my website needs to be updated and all of my email automations need to be updated. And, I'm changing my calendar and my call availability and restructuring what platforms I'm using. Like all of those very technical pieces are happening. That part is very easy for me. And it's why I have always and will always support women in a done for you capacity, because I totally recognize that like that's really hard for a lot of people. For me, I love doing that. What I don't love doing so much, where I find myself getting stuck, and why I invested in a coach this year and will always lead by example, is around the identity work, is around the internal belief and the mindset of shifting the way that I'm showing up in my business and shifting the way that I am portraying myself in my business. And because I played it safe for so long, there is a lot of uncharted territory that I'm stepping into where I'm out of my comfort zone. It feels really fucking hard sometimes. I would rather go back to what is easy and what has worked, right? And there's also this level of self-doubt and wondering, like, did I make the right decision in making this investment? Did I put all bets on myself, and am I going to be able to make this work, right? What if it isn't perceived the way that I want it to be? What if people misunderstand me? What if people judge me, right? These are all things that I, to be totally honest, have felt in the last like 3 days. And because I have the support, because I know what my vision is, and I feel so strongly about being able to support the women that I'm here to support, I'm willing to put in the fucking work. Like, I am willing for it to be hard. I am willing for it to be a busier season. I have been working nights in my business because, quite frankly, I don't have the time during the day to make these things happen. Between supporting my clients and being full-time mom and homeschooling and going to jujitsu class and taking care of the dogs and planning our meals, like there isn't a lot of space for my creative flow. So I've been doing that at night. And that feels like a hard season, right? It feels like I am working more. But I know that on the other side of that, because I've been in this space before, when my firstborn was really little and I had to put in the time and put in the effort and the intention in my business, I know that on the other side of that, when I step outside of my comfort zone, when I allow myself to be curious about the parts of me that want to be seen, that are asking to be shown to the world, and I honor that and I recognize that, and instead of hiding in a hole with a blanket over my head, I'm showing up and I'm doing the work. And I just wanted to be honest and transparent in that because, yes, the messaging on my podcast might be a little bit different. Yes, the offers that I'm sharing might be a little bit different. But I think at the end of the day, we are all human. And this is a human experience. And I really firmly believe that so often mentors and coaches get put on a pedestal because they are perceived to be perfect. They are perceived to have it all together. They show the wins and the stripe screenshots on social media. Yes, all of those things work, but I know that women, especially the Gen X 50 plus women that I'm supporting, they want to know that they are working with somebody and being led by somebody who has been in this lived experience. And like I said, this is not my first rodeo. And I know that it is a season of hard. It is a season of being uncomfortable, and it's for a damn reason. So I am here to show up for you. I am really excited about the work that I am doing and the women that I am already supporting in this new and different capacity. The offer that I had been talking about in the last couple of weeks, Magnetic Lens, it is my new signature, can't fucking wait to support women in container. For years, I've been speaking to the brand incubator, and while I love that experience, this opportunity goes so much deeper. And the way that I'm working with women moving forward is coaching and done for you. And even though that feels a little messy to figure out right now, I know that this is where the industry is going and needs to go. And quite frankly, I'm here to be the person who takes it by the reins, makes it really incredible, and helps women really create a legacy with the work that they're here to do in the world. Because I am so tired of seeing women stuck, being in burnout, being in this state of overwhelm, or spiraling and circling in perfectionism. I really want to help women that have incredible gifts that they have to share with the world share their brilliance with confidence and do it in a way that they feel super supported. So that's where I'm at. Super honest, transparent episode. I would love your thoughts, your feedback, reflections that you have for me. I'm always open to hearing from you. If you want to pop in my DMs on Instagram, I love speaking to you. And just be on the lookout because, man, things are turning up. The heat is on at Magnetic Boss Studio. Things are shaking, rattling, and rolling. And I'm really excited for the things that are going to be shared this year. So if you haven't already signed up for the Social Media Simplified Masterclass that is happening May 18th live, the replay will be available. When you sign up for the live experience, you'll get an opportunity to book a one-on-one Social Media Simplified call with me. That is going to be a great opportunity for us to really look at how you are showing up in the online space. And I'm not sure when it will be open again, but the waitlist will be open again for Magnetic Lens. So if you missed the first round of that, please stay tuned. And in the meantime, you can grab my free branding checklist that will give you some insight on how to really be positioning yourself and your brand in a way that is genuine and allows you to have a greater impact. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I will chat with you so soon.
Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe wherever you are listening so you never miss a beat. For episode show notes, visit calandramartin.com/podcast. Your iTunes reviews and your sharing of the show helps us reach more magnetic bosses just like you. Until next time.